morning. Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? Let me begin some morning motivation. Feels nice to wake up in the morning and everybody's rocking behind me. Who's ready? Oh, there goes the bunny. Who's ready to rise and shine with me? To become an altered beast. You know what I mean? And now the sun is shining and the leaves are glistening and everybody's waking up. And I'm looking for some racing to the bus, racing to their lives, and I'm racing for some boom, baby, boom, right, and shine. It's that morning marijuana motivation time. I'm out of paper, so I'm headed to the store to get some of mine and get my mind correct. I've been up since about 4 a.m. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck, Finland time? Monday, motivation, 7:30 a.m. And your boy's already been up waiting. It doesn't help when you don't have your own bed to sleep in. I've been bouncing from bed to bed. I thought I had this handled, but apparently there's some more dread. The person was like, no, I'm looking for a long-term renter. I'm like, bro, you could give it to me 2-3 weeks, you know what I mean? Just for a little bit while I handle it. That didn't happen. I don't fuck around. And some people do. Some people haven't altered their thinking process. They've altered their brains and the way that their brains have functioned, right? And neural pathways and dopamine pathways and just habits in general. And as I was looking at it, I was just like, that's really not you, right? If you can't handle it, then you've altered yourself and you're not really in beast mode, you're in pretend mode. And that's why I'm having this conversation this morning, because it happens like that, right? You go into your mind and alter your state of mind, and now you're acting gregarious, you're acting brave, you're acting like all the things that you wish you could if you could handle it. And most of us, we can't handle the truth, and therefore it never happens. Look at these kids coming to recycle. How cool is this? Welcome to the store, bro. Let's just get some papers. Hi. Good morning. Speak English?
Yeah.
Yeah. The papers, the rolling papers. Yeah. Okay. Yo. That's it. Boom. You're a miracle worker. Yeah. You're a miracle worker. It was right there. Quitos. Yo. She's like, maybe I speak, maybe I don't. And it was right here in your pocket. Yo. I appreciate you. Cam? This me? Yeah? Quitos. I love your smile. Yeah, you understood that. Let's go. Rizlas for the morning motivation, baby. I went to go roll up and I had the motivation, but I didn't have the papers. Sorry, my life. But the state that you live in your mind, that altered state, you know, that most of us want to be brave. We want to ignore other people judging us. If we want to do wild EDC outfits, we want to be on ecstasy. We want to have every moment churned up and churned out as much as possible. And that's what everybody's doing, right? We're all gearing between the lines. There's that mask that we wear, and then there's the mask that we show, and there's the mask that we are. And unfortunately, the way that we are is the vibration. And unfortunately, it's covered with all sorts of 7 deadly sins, from jealousy to vanity to gluttony, You're going to always see it a certain way. Like I was just watching one of the girls working out, and she's like super bloated today. And it was like her brain, fuck your brain. There's an anarchy. Hey, look at that. Saints addiction all day, baby. We worldwide. And that's what it is. It's your brain telling you a lie, that you have to be inebriated to be yourself, or you have to feel a certain way with a certain drug to get a certain result, or that, your brain takes over and it starts comparing it to other people's shine. And my shine is the same shine as you. I use the same sun, but we might not reflect it the same. We might not refract fractals, chakras, all these crystals and things. We might not reflect what we refract, we ingest in, looking at all of the jealousy. Please, I need an EDC ticket. Who's got the last Sunday? I'll give anything, 120 bucks. I need a wristband. What really you're saying is my life is incomplete unless I'm in front of a stage full of bass in my face. I need that to take place to make my happy take place. I need that kind of action to make myself into an Action Jackson. I need the stimulus package, whole thing, just what it is. Yeah, I thought I heard a car coming. Let me get out of the way before I get hit. But that's what it is. We are looking for outside sources to make us that altered beast instead of being in beast mode inside of ourselves and saying, I built this, man. I built this brain. I built this confidence. Instead, we outsource it and hope someone else can be our bliss, our happy, our direction. And I'm here to say that's not taking direction. That's redirection. That's not altering. That's advertising. And it's not the same as being. So let me get in this house real quick. Everybody's just waking up so I can be quiet. We're wrestling. We're rabbits. Rascally rabbits. It was locked. So's my life usually. I gotta unlock it like you do. I gotta unlock my brain. I gotta unlock my sleep schedule. I gotta unlock my life. And that's why we're having this conversation this morning, is how many times are we locked in a mode that ain't beast mode? It's not helpful. It's actually detrimental. And that's why I was like, we are altered beasts. We try to alter our consciousness. We want other people to believe what we see, or what we want them to see. And in that, there's a tragedy, because then you don't get to really feel what real happy feels like. It has to come altered. And if it gets altered, then it falters, and then you're really screwed, and you're gonna be like, man, that's not what I wanted. I wanted something to last longer. I watched one girl post something, and she was like, in a relationship by January, by mid-May, that relationship had changed, and she was seeing someone else. And what she had done was she reached out to that girl and said, how are my sloppy seconds? So she was already hurt, and then she was already blocked. And there we are, exposed to all of the things that are in our hearts. We're exposed if we're lonely. We might not see it, walking around, taking videos of, dinners alone. There's always that empty seat. Yeah, you're showing off the steak, but there's no one in the seat. That's an altered beast. Or maybe you're on the other side of things where you're trying to smile like you mean it, but it's your 50th thousandth selfie, and you're done pretending to be that character so much as anyone else is done seeing you be act like that character. They want you to be your fulfilled self. I'm sure of it, because then you're in the light. You know, you're in the right. You're not in some situation where you're trying to pretend that it is what it is. You make it what you want it to be. You don't need other people to believe that you're an altered beast. You need them to feel it. You know, that's why it's like show over tell. You know, you need to show yourself that you can show up and get up in the morning. I know I was first one up this morning, and shit, I thought everybody was gonna be up by 6. Shit, I've been up 3, 4 hours now. You know what I mean? Because I'm an altered beast. I've altered my patterns. I've altered my brain. I've altered my life, body, mind, soul, just because it was that important to me. I'll tell you what's on the other side of things. This is why it's that important to me, right? Because on the other side of things, I've seen me waste time. I've seen me waste energy. I've seen me waste my life on emotionality or something, making me feel a certain type of way. And then I have to go out of my way to correct that thing. That might be EDC tickets. He left me for another girl. Okay, let's go to EDC. Let's do some ecstasy. That'll make me happy. Or let's go on a cruise and do some cocaine and get arrested and do an instant out of prison. That was supposed to make me happy. Or better yet, I just need my weed in South Korea. I don't care what anybody says. I didn't know, but at the same time, I probably should have asked, how illegal is it? No clue I was going to spend the half a year of my life in a South Korean prison. You know, the things that I had set out to do, like I tell my friends, you know, you always think it's like 2 lesbian girls and a sack of cocaine in a bathroom doing all sorts of sexual things, when it's really a bunch of dudes standing around with dirty keys in a dirty toilet acting like it's normal. It's not normal. You know, it's not normal for us to have altered our brains into functioning, right? A little bit of hash someone gave me without us. You know, it's like that other guy took over, right? He was high. He was the one that was driving, Your Honor. It's not me. It's not me and my faculties. It's not me and my responsibilities. I'm not the one that was there. It was the drunk version of me. It was the high version of me. It was this other guy that looks like me and represents me, but it wasn't me, you know? And that's what I wanted people to do. I wanted them to represent themselves. I wanted them to appear to themselves and say, hey, you know, there's more to me than um, other things, external things, things that I have to always have a White Claw in my hand. I always known for having Coke. Um, um, Situations just keep showing up. And do you show up? You know, do you show up when the situation hits, or do you hide and go like, that's it, I don't know what's going on, I don't want to see, because if I see, then I have to see with my real eyes, and real eyes have to realize real lies, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm the one drilling holes in my canoe. You know, I'm the one that's letting myself down. I'm the one that doubled down on relaxation or comfort zones or repetitive behaviors. And then I'm shocked at it because we all have the same 24 hours, right? But at the same time, most of us, we're so fucking trackable. You know, I can count on myself to masturbate. I can count on myself to smoke weed. I can count on myself to, what are my other bad habits that I continue to do? You know, like almost like clockwork, almost like this morning was the message in itself. When I woke up and I didn't have any papers, I knew last night that I ran out of papers, but it was in my head this morning like, wow, that just interrupted your pattern. You're gonna have to go walk to the store in the morning, you know, and go handle it. That was my new pattern, because now I didn't have any papers to just walk through the motions. You know, my body's taken over, but my mind isn't there, right? Like my body's moving without me, but my mind is behind all of it. And then it's like my secret mind, my subconscious mind, my secret subconscious mind whispers to me. It goes, go to the refrigerator. You're craving sugar. What it didn't say was, go to the refrigerator. You're craving sugar because you're lonely. It doesn't complete the sentence, right? It just whispers the want. It doesn't fulfill the need. It just goes out there and says, hey, you know, out of all the alternatives to not feel this way, what's the cheapest, fastest way to get unfeeling or unlock my feelings inside of me? What's the quickest way for me to get to my homeostasis or feel normal? And it's usually the pathway that we always choose. We have dopamine mapped ourselves. Yep, we mapped our brain with dopamine and said to ourselves, you know what I mean? I'm going to do these things because maybe A, I watched my mom do it. My mom likes drinking coffee in the morning. Or B, I watched my dad do it. You know, my dad always came home smelling like alcohol, so I can smell it on him. Or C, I only know how to fix this because everybody that I know in my family has modeled the same behavior the same way. You know, long day, crack the beer open. Frustrated, call a bunch of friends. Not coherent, time to go snort some lines. We find all sorts of ways. Ooh, I deserve that purse, and now I want more than what's given to me in my life. So now I'm gonna have to sell booty pictures or feet photos or titty shots because I want that bag. I want that purse. I want that outside of me. And I don't see that the last bag only made me feel okay from about the time I left the mall to about the time I put my keys in the car. And then it hits me that I have to pay off my credit card. And then I'm worse off than when I started. And that's what you're asking. You got to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? You know, that motivated juice. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Because most of us, we just want the squeeze. Or I mean, we just want the juice. We don't want the squeeze. We just want the nectarine. We can touch it right now. Give me that dopamine. Give me that serotonin. Give me that happy. And then I don't have to worry about the consequences later. But in all things, there's consequences. In all things, you're going to have to pay the piper eventually. I think we just push it further and further away, get more and more in debt, consume more and more, and then we just cycle out and just say, I'm burnt out. And then I got to pay back my bills. And it's like, you got to pay back your brain, bro. You know, if you can tell your brain what to do, like let's bless up this morning motivation, then you can do anything. If your brain tells you what to do, it's like, hey, we're in anxiety. There's some issues going on. Have shortness of breath. Start eating chocolate. Swallow all that sugar. Then for sure, you're gonna be a fat ass that's depressed, and nothing has ever made it out of that. No, I just distinctly remember myself just like powerless and full of anxiety, full of stress, and it just didn't make anything go forward. So I'd like to bounce on my chest that I found a house, $600 a month. It got taken away from me, but what won't be taken away from me is my mentality. I'm just grateful that my friends love me enough to just give me the spare bedroom. Well, it's not even spare. The daughter doesn't even stay in there. I guess she sleeps with the other kids. But I'm gonna go somewhere. I don't know what the destination is, but I know who I am, and that's what's important. I'm just like a survivor, and I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. Keep on surviving. So let's bless up. This one's got a little hash in it, so it's tasty this morning. But yeah, it sucks when you're looking at Altered Beast and people have altered their thoughts. I saw that kid at the show and he kept saying, he's the one that gave me that hash. You want hash? You want hash? You want hash? He gave everybody hash, but he was jaw jocking. His eyes were beady. He was talking fast and he looked so lonely. He was like, somebody join me. Do you want some blow? Do you want some hash? Do you want coke? Like he was trying to give away everything just to be feeling a part of it. And I know when you're on drugs, then you feel even more super subconscious, self-conscious because now nobody wants your drugs, bro. No one wants to go on that ride with you. And then you're screwed. Because now you double down on something to make you not lonely and it's isolated you further. I read somewhere, or maybe I was watching a show where the guy said it's 6 times worse than sugar or 7 times worse than alcohol is loneliness. It's an epidemic, but we isolate ourselves. We are such social creatures. And for us to have social anxiety, You just cut yourself off from being an altered beast, for not having healthy outlets, like things that reinforce you. I watched some kids in the back, they were playing with fire, they were holding the girl up with their feet. They were part of that resonance. And like my friend was saying, I've quit drinking. He's in Amsterdam. He invited me, but he said his son is all healthy. He's bodybuilder. He's doing 5 jobs. He's investing in his dad. His dad's trying to be a chef. His dad is a chef, but he's trying to start a chef channel. And when I'm talking to him, yeah, he's all into these sporty things. He's not into those drug things. And it's like, that's a vibe. When you're around people that want to do, I don't know, ice plunges or go for hikes or alter their state differently, you can get on that program. You can be like, why is that dude so healthy? Why is that dude so happy? And you can go over there and ask them, what's your secret? And most people are forthright with it. They're just like, I just started running, you know, or I have a healthy routine of doing push-ups in the morning, or I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, which seems to be most of us. We just get tired of our own bullshit. We want to alter this beast inside of us. Instead of being a beast that rolls around in our own shit, in the drugs, in the mist, we'll go into a section that says, this is what makes me feel healthy. This is what makes me feel happy. And without an alternative drug external source or a habit that's been calming us since we were probably a kid, we got to rebuild the house. Since you built your safe house when you were probably 6, 7, 8 years old, now that you're 38, 45, like I am, I can't live in that house anymore, running from my problems, mad at my parents, cursing my situations. No, I'm a man now. I've had enough life experience to know that everything's going to work out. Options that I can't even see, like I spoke about yesterday, and making my mentality ready for a new reality. That's all it is. It's just I want to alter this beast. And it's not just like Altered Beast, the video game that I used to play, and it was a man, and then he turned into a beast, and then he was like, I wish it was that easy. Life is not a video game. You got to earn your points, not just run into them. Earn them. And when you do that, then you have it. It's not like somebody can come around and take that from you. It's a new habit. 290 days, 295 days before it becomes a real habit. It almost has to be a full year of practicing that new behavior before it sinks in, and it's now you become an altered beast. It's easy to do it one day, 1 week, but if you can do it for a whole year, all of a sudden you're showing yourself willpower, the willpower to say, I'm altering the things that I don't want to stay. I don't want these things in this column anymore. I want to move them over here. I want to get them away from addictions and get them to saintlyhood. I want to get it to not be my enemy anymore. And that's what it was. It was like I didn't want to be against me. I wanted to be pro me. And pro me gets up early on a Monday. Already had 2 phone calls, one from India and one from England. People asking me for business. And if I don't get up and answer that phone, then I don't alter my future. If I don't become aware of myself and my own pathways, finding myself in front of the sugar, or I'm always at the refrigerator, or maybe lonely in eating or binge eating. I definitely used to eat my feelings, and now I tell my feelings what to do. I don't get to eat till 3, and then I can eat whatever I want from 3 to 11. It's called intermittent fasting. It's been working wonders for me. But other people, they'll hold too tight to their habits. They'll fight for their pathway. They don't even want to discuss things with you. They're just gonna go back to their habit hole, back down the rabbit hole, and not expose themselves to the light, not leave Plato's oligarchy of things in perspective that we see only in that direction, but leave the cave, get a new perspective, get some new light on the situation, say, this is what I want for my life. I want to see the sunrise. I don't want to sleep through the bullshit. I want to see the shimmering trees and the lights. I want to hear the birds chirping in the morning instead of me chirping in my head. It's just a different position. We all are under the same sun, but how we run our brains on the inside makes it come on the outside. And this is such an interesting vibrational change. And I'm going to mention Neville Goddard again, but it's true. It changes our vibration, and it should change you. You should be able to change you. And if you can do that, then you can alter any state that you want. If you can be the type of person that says, you know what, I'm master and commander of this ship. I'm going to put myself in a position where I can get out of my own way. Stop being my worst enemy. Stop fucking around. I don't fuck around, IDFA all day. And take your life seriously. Watch yourself seriously before you alter your beast, before you go back into the same neural pathway. Try a different way. This is all I can say. Try imagining the outcome before it happens. Try meditation. Try to sit long enough before you hop on the phone, before you get in front of the refrigerator, before you repeat the same patterns, right? Give yourself the opportunity to say, I'm going to be different today. This is day one. I've been thinking about it. I've been vacillating. I've been masturbating. I've been mulling it over inside of me and saying, I want to be a different beast. I want to be a different man. And that calls to all people, human beings, that we can change our ways. We don't have to keep falling for the same tricks that we've been played. We can be the type of monkey that learns how to open the key. We don't have to keep our hands closed on something shiny. We don't have to be trapped with the monkey trap. We can let it go, slip our hand out and say, I'm free of that. That's not me anymore. I don't want to join your Coke binge. I don't want to see myself like that. And I don't want to be on track to be on some jealousy, and then I'm only doing it for someone else to be jealous or to inbox their ex or their new girlfriend or go backwards. Only a fool trips over something behind them, and we'll be tripping all the fucking time on something that's already happened. Like, we're already pissed about something that we already missed. Instead of saying let's take the next shot, we're gonna be like still talking about 1996 and that one shot we missed and how it stopped all of our growth, and it stopped us from learning, and it made us rigid instead of adaptive. And that's the biggest point that I can think for it to be a real altered beast. You have to be able to alter your behavior. And that's the biggest thing that most of us don't want to do. We don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to change, and we like comfort so much that we hold on to these pathways like it's religion. And let's try to separate sobriety from religion, right? It's not all about one thing that we quit, right? If it's not alcohol, most people switch to cigarettes. And if they still, my buddy's like, I'm sober now. Well, yeah, sure, you're off the heroin and off the pills, but you're still swallowing the beers and the pill and the cigarettes. And in that, I'm watching him deteriorate still, but it's not a sobriety, it's a switch up, you know and I'm trying to find things to switch up that keep me up, that keep my mentality up, that keeps my happy up, that keeps me healthy up. The other stuff, it just keeps me distracted. It keeps you from being proactive. And if that's the case, then I would tell you to leave it in its place. Don't chase it anymore. Give yourself another alternative, because that's how you become an altered beast, as an alternative of the beast that you are into beast mode. And that's where I wanted people to get to, is in beast mode, where they empower themselves and they're up early and they're after it, and they're not distracted. They're a whole different human being when you see that look on their eyes. Like, well, my buddy said he was going to do 100-kilometer walk and they were going to do it for a whole day. And I'm just like, what the fuck? That's a whole marathon. It's a couple marathons, and I think a marathon's 24 miles, so that's like 4 marathons. And he was like, "Yeah, we did it last year," and I was just like, "Well, fucking fantastic, Jesus Christ, like get after it." And that's what I want to see is you to get after it this morning, and that's your morning motivation. If you got anything out of this, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe below. But always have some peace and love. Always have some chigathon, and that means not that means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But the other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be, chilling under these trees, smoking in the breeze, and feeling the ease. What a blessing. So go be blessed, not stressed. Your boy Marky Saint. That's the morning motivation. I'm out. Peace.